Hello and welcome everyone to a late night episode. It's a tactical analysis video. We have a little look this evening, or if you are watching this on Saturday morning, and I hope you find this quite informative. Mainly we're getting quite a lot of fan interaction tonight. Obviously for any audio listeners, make sure you do head over to the YouTube channel as well. Drop a like and subscribe if you are new. Now, breaking down, obviously, Frimpong's game this evening. Obviously, his strengths, his weaknesses, how in terms of next season, Liverpool could very much shape up from a tactical perspective, because he offers Liverpool quite a fair bit of great flexibility in a defensive sense and most importantly in an attacking sense as well, especially when you're losing a player like Trent's quality. You've certainly got to bring in adequate quality, and for me personally, he's in the top 3 right backs in European football, and I think it's an absolute privilege that Liverpool brought him in, and we got the announcement today. So Reds, if you are new around here, make sure you do keep on getting your comments in, and we will very much feature them throughout tonight's episode as well. And let's get straight into the analysis as well, everyone. For anyone new around here, I want to keep up to date on all things Liverpool, make sure you do hit that subscribe button down below if you are watching on Facebook, YouTube, or across any other social media platform of Anfield Index as well. Welcome, and massive thank you for all the continued support on absolutely everyone's shows. So first and foremost, we'll get straight into the analysis really. So obviously, first off, we'll have a little look at the underlying numbers, and then we'll go into tactical breakdown in terms of positional play as well. But in terms of this season, obviously he's only 24 years old as well, Jeremy Frimpong, which is really, really good. This season's Bundesliga campaign, he did feature 33 times, obviously getting 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 Champions League appearances, consisting of 793 minutes in that regard as well. And he's played over 2,340 minutes for Bayer Leverkusen. And when we was looking at the data as well, injuries, everyone, when you analyse a player, does he play a lot of games? Yeah, certainly. I think over the last 4.5 years in the Bundesliga, he's clocked over 2,000 minutes per season, which is in and around the 30 match games played anyway. So touch wood, he does continue to stay fully fit as well. In terms of looking obviously off FB ref as well, in terms of anyone that is not seeing Jeremy in the Bundesliga, give me one sec there, Chaz. Zoom in. Oh, that's too much. Zoom in. There we go. So yeah, as you can see there, chat, in terms of his top percentiles, everyone knows, if anyone's watched him in the Bundesliga, his attacking game is exactly where he thrives in terms of, as you can see there, high percentiles in terms of progressive carries in the top 97 percentile in European football. Obviously, anyone gauging what all this graph's all about, but the higher percentile, the better as well. But this is in comparison to the big 5 European leagues as well. Obviously, Serie A, La Liga, Premier League, and obviously, is the French league class 1? It never used to be one anyway, but the Bundesliga and obviously, most importantly, the German Bundesliga as well. So, yeah, progressive carries, touches in the attack and penalty box as well, 99 percentile. That does indicate very much he does get into the penalty box. He's always wanting to get into an opportunity to create, stretch an opposition team as well. Offers quite a fair bit of variation, really, in terms of, we know Trent from a dead ball set piece, but when you compare and contrast, obviously, in terms of strengths and weaknesses in regards to Frimpong and Trent's game, it's very interesting to say the least, really, as well. Reds, be one sec there. Jumping ahead there. Don't want to be going over there just yet. Got plenty to go through anyway. So in terms of when you look at the wagon wheel, in terms of FB charts as well, you're looking at passes attempted. Obviously Trent is in the blue, Frimpong in the red. Progressive carries, that's one aspect that Frimpong absolutely batters Trent. Obviously this is over the space of the last 12 months as well. Passes attempted, you'd expect Trent to be creating as more, because that's obviously Liverpool's game for the best part of for his whole career since he's broken into the Liverpool team. That's one of his biggest asset, really, Liverpool playing through Trent. It will be interesting. We'll speak about it a bit later as well, in terms of how well Liverpool do adapt, especially buying an attacking midfielder like Fleury and Wirtz. You'd expect a lot of the Liverpool's play to go through the central areas of the pitch anyway. So, yeah, in terms of Frimpong, Tackles/interceptions, Trent does have a better percentile in that regard as well. Progressive passes recorded, obviously Jeremy Frimpong in terms of progressive passes going forward as well. In terms of meeting the man, he's certainly ahead of Trent in that regard as well. So you look at that, and we know, every Liverpool fan knows, when you analyse that, we know the player that we're losing in Trent. Getting a like-for-like replacement in regards to a player on the ball in terms of passing wise, it's then a next to near impossible as well. So obviously, hopefully, Florian Wirtz does come in. Liverpool, as every Liverpool fan has said over the last couple of weeks, and since we've known the Trent news, is we need to add a bit more variation to Liverpool's play, and very much not just be so reliant on the likes of that right-hand channel as we have been over the last couple of seasons as well. So yeah, quite similar in regards to non-penalty expected goals and assists. So Trent and Frimpong, two players that very much thrived, very close in comparison in that regard, as you can see there, chat. So they're liking to create. Both players do like to create. Expected assisted goals as well. Trent does just edge Frimpong in that regard anyway. Expected assists. So yeah, what we're getting is not exactly like, but in certain elements and certain different facets of so yeah, it's interesting. Non-penalty expected goals as well. So yeah, just a little bit on that really, Reds as well. In terms of assists, creating wise, numbers wise as well, Jeremy Frimpong, as this is obviously over the course of his career as a professional footballer, in terms of breaking into back in 2018-19 season, at the age of 17, Frimpong, obviously matches played, did play 14, but obviously that was in the Premier League too. Obviously the academy football as well, but he did get his big move to Scotland, in which his first season he did feature 14 times. And as you can see, in that season, he did register 1 assist, 2 goals. And then the following season, 1 goal and 2 assists as well. And then in the Bundesliga 2020-21 season, he had 4.5 season anyway in the Bundesliga. And as you can see there, in terms of goals, in 2022-23, registered 8 goals, 7 assists. In that season, obviously the title winning season that everyone kind of remembers, and everyone that did analyse and found Jeremy Frimpong watching the Bundesliga quite extensively really, he got obviously 9 goals, 7 assists. And then you just look at the last 3 seasons Jeremy's had in the Bundesliga. He's registered 15 goal contributions, 16 goal contributions the year after in the league winning season, and then this season he's obviously registered 10 goals and assists as well. So 5 goals, 5 assists as well. So yeah, we're losing Trent, we're losing his quality, but what we're bringing in is a player with a lot of ability and a lot of on the ball ability, and certainly a lot of ability going backwards as well. So yeah, it's going to be intriguing really in that regard as well. And having a little look in terms of his passing, domestic leagues as well, in terms of his passing accuracy, which was quite telling really in that regard. You look at obviously his high percentile in terms of Bayer Leverkusen this season. Short passes, obviously this bracket is obviously short passes to his teammates as well. We know Trent likes the Hollywood ball anyway. But in terms of build-up play from the back, obviously this season 88.4% pass completion rate in regards to his short passes, and then the season before 87.0 short passing accuracy. So in terms of his short game in regards to his ability on the ball, it's really good. You'd like to hope that will improve, and I fully expect that. But in regards to that being very high, he's a player that does, when he gets on the ball, he's quite accurate in those short range passes as well. And even you look at his medium range passing, Frimpong, over the last 4.5 years in the Bundesliga, quite high in regards to European football as well, 77.6. So yeah, and especially when you are an attacking fullback like Frimpong, you look at that and you might go, 77 might not be quite high, but the fact that so much of the play, similar with Trent in regards to Liverpool's system over the years, and especially in the Bundesliga for Frimpong, a lot of the movement does go predominantly down that right hand side. Obviously he's bound to lose the ball, and people might go, it's quite low, but when you're playing through a player, he's going to be the player that tries to make the difference. 9 times out of 10, he will lose possession because he's trying to create attacking opportunities, and he will get caught out of play as well. So in terms of the final little bit, in terms of positional play for Jeremy Frimpong, you do have a little look at that in regards to predominantly, this is obviously this season's heat map as well. The red, if anyone that's new to heat maps or whatnot, the red does massively indicate his more pressure points on the field as well. So you look at that and you're going, Liverpool have just signed a right winger as well. But anyone that has not seen the Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen do predominantly play with a back three, and then obviously Grimaldo and Frimpong in the Bundesliga over the last couple of seasons, they've been their two main man in terms of sources of creating goals in those defensive transitions as well. So yeah, he's very high up, very high and wide, and this is where we will have a little second where we'll speak about tonight. I personally think, I look at that and I do feel Salah will be vacating or situating a more central role in the team, because when you've got a player of those with those attributes in terms of his physical, not his physicality, his speed in regards to his game as well. Frimpong's only about 5'5", 5'6" as well, so he's not the tallest. I know everyone's got concerns, but it's not like Frimpong's going to be sat on the front post. Maybe balls to the far stick, and that might be a bit concerning, but that's one aspect that you can certainly improve as well. And historically, you look at a player like Tim Cahill, he wasn't the tallest, obviously, his time at Millwall, and then he went to, obviously, Everton. He wasn't the most tallest of players, but he's one of the best headers of football in European football in his prime anyway. So, yeah, it's certainly an aspect of Frimpong's game that you can certainly work on. Defending a back post as well, but I think that will be one of the biggest aspects, that especially when you come to a Premier League team as well, and the physicality that is demanded. But one aspect of Frimpong's game that, as you can see there from that heat map, he's very athletic and go up and down the pitch with a lot very, very quickly as well. So everyone looks at that and go, oh, he's a right midfielder, right winger as well. But this is where we will speak about it tonight in regards to Liverpool's system and where potentially we might play him going forward next season as well. So as you can see there, chat, let's make sure that's up there. So, let's zoom out a little second. There we go. So as you can see, yeah, so in terms of typically going into next season, you'd anticipate Frimpong to play as very much the right back anyway. So this is probably Liverpool's strongest team, chat. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Not too bad of a strong team anyway. There will be a potential couple of outings anyway. We're fully anticipating in that regard. Wait 1 second there, chat. It's not enough. So I should expect Frimpong, as we've said already, very much marauding down that right-hand channel, but a lot of speculation with Kerkez coming in. If Kerkez does come in, it will just offer Liverpool a lot. It goes back to the prime years of watching Trent and Andy Robbo as well. We all love Robbo. I think he's been one of my favourite Jurgen Klopp Liverpool players over the last 10 years. I know Salah and Van Dijk and Ali get quite a lot of the plaudits, but that's not saying Robbo doesn't get plaudits, because we all love him. But I think when you watch his play and the prime Robinson, and hopefully if Kerkez does come in, or a player down that left-hand channel, similar with Conor Bradley, in terms of obviously down that right-hand side as well, you're wanting to create fresh competition within the squad. So if we can add a bit more pace down the left-hand side, whether it's Andy Robbo being the first choice, will be intriguing as well. But the midfield three, fully expect that to be our... But we'll do another episode. Hope from where it does get announced anyway, chat, we will do a very much a tactical breakdown as well. There'll be plenty of content on that. So fingers crossed, Reds, Liverpool get that deal over the line, or we see a bit more news in the next couple of days as well. But it's going to be interesting in terms of Flurry and where he is to come in. It will be very interesting from a tactical point of view. So we'll go with this for next season. If it is the starting 11 anyway, as we said, Kerkez potentially might be coming in as well. So in terms of the midfield, two double sixes, as we've seen already over the last 12 months, it's been really good. Salah, as I said, Gakpo, obviously you'd expect, and there's a chance if you've missed it this evening, as we are live, there's been a report, potentially Diaz moving, which will be disappointed with, but I think if a big money move comes in for him, possibly might leave Liverpool as well. So for mainstay, we'll leave Diaz in for now. Whether he goes or leaves, but you just need a striker, central forward, vocal point anyway. So in terms of, from a systematical point of view, will be interesting. A lot of Liverpool fans have spoke over the last year or so. If Frimpong is going to be coming in, everyone's got quite a fair bit of concern in regards to, down those areas of the pitch anyway, in terms of opposition teams attacking that left-hand side. It's always been the case in regards to when you do watch a Liverpool fullback getting forward, and then obviously Frimpong vacating that. Obviously Gravenberch does that extremely well in terms of covering that space, and then especially if it is a Randy Robbo going forward or whatnot, there will be quite a lot of space in those wide channel areas. So you analyse that, and yes, but that's why there's so much importance on the likes of Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister. I personally feel, I don't know how you feel, Reds, is Liverpool potentially might dip in for another number 6. But if Kerkez does come in, it's going to be interesting, massively interesting. Do Liverpool go with an orthodox left back in terms of one that, as we said, with like Kerkez, and then you got Frimpong, but for this example, we'll just keep Randy Robbo. So that concerns me in regards from a tactical point of view, in transition, because you can't allow those two lads, Ibu and Virgil van Dijk, just to be so high and wide, really. Look at the amount of space that they've got to cover, really, in that regard. So even when you've got to think of the structure in regards to Andy Robbo and then obviously Frimpong, it's got to have great shape. It's got to have tactical fluidity, really. So in terms of when the defense goes forward and when overall as the team goes forward and progresses, you've got to keep that shape. Shape is so important in football, as we know. In the years of having Fabinho, we know how integral he was to very much facilitate and allow, obviously, Andy Robbo and Trent in those previous years. So it's going to be interesting, Reds, if Kerkez or if Andy Robbo does pick up that more of a attacking role, or if Kerkez comes in, Liverpool certainly need to be going in for an extra number 6 as well, because, as he said, that is exactly what you're going to be left with in that regard. Van Dijk, and I know Ibu's got a year left on his contract. I don't think he wants to be coming. You're looking at it from a tactical point of view. Opposition teams playing a 4-2-3-1 as well, really stretching those wide areas, and it'd be just more or less an outnumbering of positions, really. So this is why the left back position with Frimpong coming in very much intrigues a lot of Liverpool fans. Certainly it does for me anyway. Do Liverpool go with a more of a defensive left back, or if Kerkez does come in, or an Andy Robbo, is he being instructed going to next season just to not get past the halfway line, just stay in that vicinity, really, from a defensive structural point of view as well. So it's going to be very, very interesting, really, Reds, in that regard, but it's exciting in all honesty. So, but do Liverpool go with a bit more of a narrow, if Robbo or a Kerkez, i.e. goes a bit more centrally? Have we seen already Ryan Gravenberch in especially a couple of games already this season? We know Arne Slot absolutely loves to drop Ryan Gravenberch centrally. Could this be the case of Van Dijk going there, Gravenberch playing as a it would be very much that. You'd probably see Ryan Gravenberch the right. You wouldn't play Ryan Gravenberch as the centre half anyway. But we've seen him play in defence already this season. Could that be the case? And then very much Liverpool potentially playing with a bit more of a box. Obviously, creating your width there. And then this is what we mentioned before. Whether that's a Diaz, playing with a bit more like that as well, a bit more of attacking fluidity. So your width, there's a lot of emphasis in those central areas, central channels as well. We've seen on especially the last 2 years of Jurgen Klopp's era at Liverpool. Liverpool predominantly did like to use and facilitate that box midfield forward anyway. In regards to so in terms of, we can use that. There you go. Do apologise, Chaz. So whether that be Diaz, whether that be Flurry and Waits anyway, but it's going to be interesting in regards to, from a positional point of view, how Liverpool's, there's a lot of variation to Liverpool's play. So you're looking at that and you're like, wow, potential for Liverpool. So chat, and this is why it's going to be intriguing. Oh, one second there. In regards to, from a tactical point of view as well. One second, so yeah, there's a lot more variation, and then you see Diaz, and if it is a Kirkes, just offers you so much width. If Diaz does go, obviously Flurry and Waits does come in anyway. It's going to be intriguing, and if Salah does pick up a bit more of a central position within the squad, and then obviously if Liverpool do play with more of an out-and-out striker, really. There's been a lot of reports over the last couple of weeks, or the last 12 months really, that Liverpool will be diving in for the transfer market as well. Because you look at Liverpool's squad depth in an attacking sense, you're looking at Chiesa, you're looking at, one second, I'll move that over. So you look at Liverpool's squad depth. So you're looking at Chiesa, you're looking at Jota, and you're looking at Darwin Núñez. And then obviously, as we just mentioned, Diaz might be off as well. So you're looking at those forward options, and then you're left with very much Cody Gakpo, Salah as well. So it's important that Liverpool strengthen in the right areas, and I think we will do anyway. But there's a lot of attacking variety really, and I think there will be a lot more of an emphasis in those central areas as well. So yeah, in terms of, it's exciting, Reds, in all honesty. The more flexibility, as we said, Andy Dobbo playing there, and then one second, apologies. So Reds, it's going to be interesting. So in terms of Liverpool playing a potential box midfield, say if Waits does come in, obviously you can play the little box there in terms of, as we said already, with the width. Certainly if a Kirkes does come in and Frimpong, they can absolutely patrol all across both channels really. Or Robbo has a bit more license that we know he can do, because as we know, prime Andy Robbo, do we think he's still got it in him? I do firstly think he's still got him in him from an attacking sense. Obviously the pace might be a bit of an issue, but this is why I do feel Gravenberch in that more of a central defensive role, obviously starting as a 6, but in transition as Liverpool in those attacking areas of the pitch, will very much, obviously Van Dijk, Gravenberch might more or less facilitate in that role as well. So and then as we've already seen in the 2 last games of the season, we've seen Dominic Szoboszlai, especially against the last 2 home games, obviously the Brighton game away from home. We've seen Dominic Szoboszlai pick up a bit more of a central area in terms of him very much spraying a lot of diagonal balls across the pitch really. So there's a lot of variety really for Liverpool. So in terms of Dominic Szoboszlai, you can play those balls out to the right channel and then obviously to the left hand channel, but especially if he's got a player like Flurry and Waits or a Luis Diaz, apologies there, Chaz, to very much in those central areas, or Salah or whatnot. It's very, very exciting in all honesty, Reds. So there's options are aplenty. I feel Salah next season we'll see him a lot more central. I don't anticipate, because as we've already had a little look at that heat map, look at where he plays, Frimpong. Unless we're not going to be allowing him to go past the halfway line, which will not happen anyway. You want Frimpong, his best attributes is to go forward, break the lines as well, get inside the penalty areas we alluded to before as well. So Salah, as he's already been on record this season of him personally speaking to Arne Slot, saying that he sacrificed quite a bit of his defensive game. So as Salah will get older, he's going to have to go a lot more central, and this is where the youthfulness of and the energy really of a Frimpong, of an Andy Robbo, if he regains a bit more of his form, a lot more of his form really, or a Kirkes, it's going to be very, very, very exciting as well. So yeah, options are plenty really, Reds. So let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. So chat, that was only a little bit of a video anyway, so potentially Liverpool setting up. We'll quickly go back to that anyway. Just delete that. I'll just move that, sorry. So, as we said, this is probably what we are anticipating in terms of going into next season. That's probably Liverpool's strongest team as it stands at the minute. Obviously, Florian Wirtz has been linked, but I think signing Florian Wirtz just gives Liverpool a lot more variation, as we just said there, in terms of Liverpool creating that box shape. If Wirtz and all the data lads, you've all seen it anyway, when you've compared and contrast Wirtz and very much Bobby Firmino, I think very exact same profiles really. If anyone's not seen the data, go and check it out. Similar age profile in regards to when his time in the Bundesliga. Obviously, Bobby Firmino played for Hoffenheim, but yeah, there's so much quality in the Bundesliga really, Reds. I think in terms of that adaptation for Bundesliga players to the Premier League, you will see, especially this season, a lot more transfers coming from the Bundesliga, because one of the biggest facets is the physicality of that league as well. Everyone goes, oh, it's a one-team league, but there's it's a hotbed of top European talent as well coming through. So if Wirtz does play that more of a false nine Bobby role, it just facilitates and allows Liverpool. And for Dominic Szoboszlai in his Leipzig days as well, he liked to play in those wide areas as well. So whether Liverpool might go like that next season, play a bit more central, and then obviously with the fullbacks going forwards anyway, there's a lot of variation to Liverpool's game. So in terms of playing a 4-4-2 as well, obviously Dominic Szoboszlai has that ability as well. It's big. Obviously, we know Arne Slot does not go Sean Dyche anyway. Historically, he's played over the last 12 months, as we know, a 4-2-3-1 system. But there's a lot more variation. 4-3-3 system, 4-3-2-1 system as well. So attack and flexibility is going to be a very positive aspect, really, of Liverpool's game next season. And the more variation Liverpool have to our game, the more chance we have of winning football games as well. So yeah, you look at that Paris Saint-Germain game, there wasn't a lot of options off the bench, no respect to the players as well, but as we know, Arne, we learned so much from this season's Champions League campaign. We come up against the team that I feel have said for the whole season since we've been eliminated as well, they should win on tomorrow night as well. But two of the best teams in European football, Inter and Paris Saint-Germain. But as Arne said already this season, or from reports we've seen this season, is he's took a lot of instructions really from how well Paris Saint-Germain do well in regards to a defensive and attacking transition as well. Look at Mendes, you look at Ashraf Hakimi as well, two fullbacks that love to bomb on. And Liverpool in the prime years of Jurgen Klopp anyway, how good were Trent and Robbo? We know what Trent's gone, but Frimpong coming in is saying, as we said already on tonight's show as well, there's so much quality going forward in that regard. So, Reds, yeah, only a little snippet anyway. Hope you have found it a bit more informative, really. So, it's exciting, Reds. As we said, reports this evening, if no one's seen Luis Diaz's, there's going to be a lot of players going out anyway at the window anyway, but the more go into this season, you look at probably Conor Bradley, expect him to stay, Joe Gomez possibly, Quonset, we've got a £50 million valuation on him, Costas, there's a lot of change coming this year, Reds, but we've got a lot of trust in the data lads, and rightly so as well. Very rarely have they disappointed Liverpool, so yeah, chat, I'm excited. I know every single one of you are as well, but yeah, Jeremy Frimpong's ability just to get up the pitch, up and down, really, and just even if we did get maybe a Wharton or more of a defensive mind, not an out-and-out defensive destroyer, but a player that in the Zubimendi profile, hence why we did try and go for Zubimendi over the last 12 months as well, but a player of that ability. Mainly just to give Gravenberch a rest as well, chat. How many minutes has that lad played? Especially, obviously, prior to his move to England as well. We know his difficulties in terms of keeping fit in certain seasons as well. So, Ryan will very much, Gravenberch will certainly need a rest as well. So, chat. And if this is why I do think Florian Wirtz, I know a lot of people are going signing out and out striker. I'd like to see Liverpool signing out and out striker. Mainly if we do lose Darwin Núñez as well, you certainly. You look at Liverpool's attackers. Elliott, we've mentioned, he's been linked away. Jota, if he was available to a lot of the Premier Leagues, he would get snapped up. I know everyone goes as injuries, but you're looking at a very experienced Premier League winner, 28 years old as well. A lot of teams will be knocking on the door for Jota, but I do think if Arne does get his own way, I think we'll see quite a fair bit of rotation in out and into the club as well. But chat, and obviously Jojo Mavrashvili, I think a lot of people mentioned he's going to be coming in. But Reds, as I said, massive thank you for tuning in as well. You never walk alone, and make sure you tune in to tomorrow. Obviously, you've got daily Red episodes with Dave Davis. Reds, I hope you found it a bit more informative. Hopefully, not just for me, but there'll be a lot more shows like this from everyone on Anfield Index as well. So in terms of their analysis breakdowns of potential formation systems as well. But Reds, massive thank you for everyone tuning in this evening. As I said, Daily Red on Saturday, and obviously we've got it on Sunday as well. So make sure you tune in. Plenty of transfer content to get stuck into across Anfield Index, and plenty of podcasts as well. But Reds, been an absolute pleasure. Thank you everyone for tuning in this evening. And if you haven't already done so, make sure you drop a like and subscribe as well. As Notorious has said there, sign Ramos. Yeah, there we go, bud. Yeah. There's already videos on Anfield Index as well. Dave broke down, and so plenty to get stuck into, Reds. Make sure you head over to Anfield Index, AnfieldIndex.com. If you want to become a pro member, you can certainly do so. That's £3.33 a month, just as little as a coffee anyway, and it opens up so many a great catalogue of great LFC content. You can go back in the archives as well and listen to all the podcasts. So plenty to get stuck into, Reds. And yeah, obviously, I think Florian Wirtz is currently, I know everyone's going, oh, why is he not signed? But obviously he's playing in a Nations League final as well, chat, so want to keep an eye on. I think it's the Nations League for Germany, so that's very soon anyway. He's away with the international team as well. So Reds, look after yourself. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, you never walk alone. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video as well. And tune in tomorrow with Dave Davis on the Daily Red. But Reds, look after yourself and have a very good Friday night or start to your Saturday morning, wherever you are watching around the world. To that.